In this chapter we will create the tool with which we will select the edges of the geometry, depending on their direction. And for the beginning we will add some parameters in the parameters interface. But first of all, we will add the group delete node, and we will delete all the groups. We see that the groups created by us in the previous chapter no longer exist. Next we add the group node, and open Edit Parameter Interface. Select and hide the parameters we do not need. Next we will navigate inside and expose the group name parameter in the interface. Apply to see what we have obtained. Disable base group. Add a folder and set it as simple. And drag the group name parameter to this folder. Switch to channels. And in the defaults parameter, we change group 1 to $OS. This expression gets the name of current node, which means that the group name and node name will be the same. Next we will create the menu, from where we will choose the direction of the axis. The next parameter we will add is ordered menu. Label X-axis. And we do the same for the Y and Z axes. And apply. Let's arrange them in the X, Z and Y order, and apply once more. Select the X-axis parameter and open the menu compartment. Next we will add the menu items. With 0 value will be the select option. Return to the group node and select Keep by Normals. spread angle we will set it to 10. On the z-axis enter 0, and on the x-axis enter 1. We see how the group formed on the x-axis, and if we enter a negative value, the direction of the group changed in the opposite direction. We return to the creation of the menu. And here we introduce the value 1 on the positive x-axis, and -1 on the negative x-axis, and press apply. We see that the menu has appeared. Now let's create a reference link between this parameter and the direction parameter. Grab the parameter and drag to direction, select relative channel reference. Click here to see what value we get. 0 is predefined, and in this case no face was selected. +x is with the value 1 and the positive part is selected. At -x we have the value 2, and in this case we do not read the value of the token but its position in the column. Select menu, and we will correct it very easily. We will activate the Use Menu Item Token Value option, and click Apply. Check again. Now the value is correct, and we see that the geometry on the opposite side has been selected. We move on to CH&Ls, and I will continue to show you another way to create reference links between parameters. We go to Direction and delete the channels already created. Select Delete Channels. If we keep the cursor here for a while, we see the name of these parameters. And here, we enter the name of the node, and the parameter we want to link. In our case, it is the direction x. That's all. Apply and check how it works. The result is the same. I will do the same for the following parameters. I copy the expression, and I will introduce it to the following parameters, only that I will change the axis. And next I will add the menu to the next two parameters z and y. For the y-axis parameter, we will also create the menu. Click Apply and check. And we see that if we set two parameters at the same time, we have no result. But this will not affect us, because we will use a dedicated group node for each axis. We will add a separator to separate these parameters. Click Apply and Accept. Next, we will lock the group type parameter. And we create a reference copy of these node. We will use this node to set the group on the x-axis, so for the other two axes we delete the reference links and set them to 0. Now we will create the option to be able to choose how many faces on this axis to be selected. So let's start adding the bound node. We are looking for the x-axis in viewport. Add a line and on the x direction set 1. So we have a line directed on the x-axis. Add the match size node. In the first input add the line and in the second bound node. Activate Scale to Fit option. And we see that the line is the same size as the box. Add the Carve node. With its help we will control the size of this line. And make a reference copy. The first U parameter will be the same, only here we will make some changes. At the Keep Inside and Keep Outside parameters, we will delete the reference links. Deactivate Keep Inside and activate Keep Outside. In this way we get the opposite side of the line. And to switch between these two lines, add the switch node. Connect the lines and rename the switch node in invert. Next, add another match size node. In the first input, connect the bound node. But first, let's change network wiring style. And in the second input, connect the switch node. And this time we also select scale to fit. Let's see how it works. Now, with the help of the line, we change the size of the box on the x-axis. And through the switch we reverse the size. Next, add group node. Group type, points. And in the second input we connect the match size node. Return to the bound node and enlarge a little, lower and upper padding. Enable keep in bounding regions. And select bounding object. Next, we will promote the group to the primitives. Add group promote node. Select primitive. Group name, group 3. New name, to transfer X. Select the created nodes and add them in network box. Next, add the group transfer node. In the first input, connect group 2, and in the second input, connect the group promote node. Disable distance threshold and select group to transfer X. And now one of the most important steps. Add group combine node. Group name select, to transfer X. Here we select Group Select. Here we select Subtraction. And here we select the group to transfer X. Is similar to Boolean operations. The difference is that this node operates with groups. Let's see how it works, and I will drag this parameter here. From this perspective, it can be seen that only the faces, who are outside this box, are selected. Now I will change the name of the group. We see that here is the group, but below it is error, because a group named Group Select no longer exists. We return to the previous version $OS. And let's change the name of the Group Select node. It is also an error because the Group Select is selected, but the name of the active group is already different. And the question arises how to avoid such situations? We will solve this problem by an expression. We will use this group to extract the correct group name. CH is expression function gets the value of a parameter. S returns the string value of the given parameter. Next we enter the path that node from where we want to import the string value. In our case, the string value we want to import is the group name. Node group 1, we have it here above. And from this node we are interested in the group name parameter, because in this parameter the group name is written. Copy the expression. Select Group Promote node. Let's change the name randomly. Here we do not select the group but introduce this expression. The apostrophe must be added at the beginning and end of the expression. We change them and copy them again. Now this group will be transferred, regardless of its name. We will continue to do some tests. If we select -x, the opposite side is grouped. Add group delete and delete this group. Next we will only need the group to transfer X. Next, we will promote this parameter in the group node interface. Let's open Edit Parameter Interface. The first parameter we will promote will be FristU from the Carve node. We grab the FristU parameter and drag it here. And we'll call it amount. And we will change the minimum value and the maximum value. Minimum value 0.004. Maximum value 0.99. Check how it works in both directions. Activate this option and click Apply. In this way, the amount parameter is arranged in a row with the x-axis parameter. Next, add a toggle, rename it in invert, and click Apply. Select the switch node and reverse the direction. Activate the previous parameter, horizontally join to next parameter, and click Apply. Grab the invert parameter and drag it to the switch node. And select relative channel reference. And check all positions again. Create a copy of this group for the next axis. Delete the channels for the X and Y axis. Create another copy of the group node for the Y-axis. Here we also delete the channels we don't need, and keep only the Y-axis. Copy all the nodes and connect them. Rename it in Z direction. And this in the Y direction. Here we will change the direction of the line. Delete the reference channels at the carve node. And create a new reference copy. At the switch node we also delete the reference channels. And change the order of the carve nodes. At node group promote, we change the name to transfer Z. And at the rest of the nodes where this group meets, we change it. And check how it works. Now we will create the amount parameter for the Z-axis. Grab the first U parameter and drag it here. Rename it in amount. And set the minimum and maximum values. Click on Apply. Add a new toggle parameter and rename it in invert. Select the switch node. Grab the invert parameter and pull to the switch node. Select Paste Relative Reference. And we see that something is not working. Return to carve node. And we will delete these reference channels. Disable keep inside and activate keep outside. And check again. We move on to the next axis. Change the line direction. Delete the carve node and make a new reference copy. Set the correct order. Here we delete the channels. At the match size node, change the axis. And change the group name to transfer Y. Now let's check. And we will add this parameter in the interface. Select horizontally join to next parameter. Now we will set the minimum and maximum value. Return to the switch node and delete the channels. Add a toggle and rename it in invert. And pull it to the switch node. And check how it works. Click Apply and Accept. Add Group Node. Group Name, Primitive Group. We see that the group is, but not on geometry. From Group Delete Node, add the Group Rename node. Select the group to transfer X. Copy and insert in new name. Next, add the Switch node and connect the Group and Group Rename nodes. We move on to the next axis, where we also add the Group Rename node. Copy the Group Rename node and add it to the other axis. Change in to transfer Z. Here we add the same node. And here change in to transfer Y. Connect the rest of the nodes through Switch node. Add the Output node. Add the Group Transfer node. We will transfer the groups created at the beginning. And we take it from here and connect it in the second input. And transfer all groups on the edges. As well as all groups on points and on primitives. Distance threshold 0.001. Check if the groups have been transferred. Open Edit Parameter Interface. Add a toggle and rename it in group primitive by direction. Click Apply. I will add a separator after the group name parameter. And add 3 more toggle parameters. We will rename them in X, Z and Y. Click Apply. Select the first switch node and pull the X parameter. Select Relative Channel Reference. We move on to the next switch node. Grab the Z parameter and drag it here. And here we do the same. Now we will set the parameters X, Z and Y to be inactive when the parameter group primitive by direction is inactive. Copy the name of the parameter. And we enter the expression, the parameter X will be hidden when the parameter group by direction is equal to 0. Copy the expression and enter it at the other parameters. Check how it works. Now we will make it impossible to select 2 parameters at the same time. Copy. This parameter will be deactivated when the parameter Z is equal to 1. And here, we introduce the same expression. Click Apply. Copy this expression. We add it here and change the name of the parameter with 8. And here we do the same. And now for Y parameter we do the same. Here we introduce 10. Click Apply and Accept. And at the end, we will check how it works.